This is Dr. Mia Luth, and it is star date 11/6/2022, and it is 9:49 a.m. Eastern, and that is the right time. I did not change all my battery clocks, but all my digital clocks were changed. So anybody who is in that area of the world that sets the clock back, don't forget, fall back 1 hour. So this morning I woke up around 4, maybe 3 something, late 3, and it seemed like normal time to be waking up to me. But that's because yes, clocks fell back. So technically, I woke up at 5, which is a little more likely for me. But because of the fact that just my whole life I've had to wake up early for whatever reason, most of the time, work, school, people, kids, family, whatever. So I'm an early bird most of the time. And so there's some people who may just need to understand that just like by the time you wake up at like 7 a.m., I've already been working for a couple hours. Okay. I usually start working almost right when I get out of bed. Um, because when I wake up is the time I have the most energy. But that's also my God time, my prayer time. Right. It's I like it because when you get up before the rest of, let's just say, your area, your community, your people in your neighborhood or whatever, it's just quiet. Well, I mean, yes, you live in cities, but even me, I mean, there's a train. I used to live closer to the train, and sometimes train shakes houses, blah, blah, blah. So I don't have that anymore, but you know, regular everyday sounds, basically. Um, so that's good. I don't have to train anymore. But yeah, early morning time. People have made here and there in my life. People have made comments. And it's like, you get up so early in the morning. It's like, well, yeah. So what? Like some people spring out of bed and barely brush their teeth, or yes, for a variety of reasons. Rich or poor. You know what I'm saying? Yes, right. And so me, that's been the way I've been doing things for quite a while. I get up, so I'm not in a big rush, and I can get a little bit of coffee, wake up, a little bit of food, right? Like enjoy the quiet part of the day is when I do that. So yeah, I have a hard time just like jumping out of bed at the last minute. And, oh my god, I gotta. Well, when I was in college, there are people, or high school, yes, but I'm not in that situation. So, um, yeah, so healthier, way healthier for me, just whenever I get up. And sometimes it's before my alarm, even. But that's my quiet time with the universe, the holy, HOLY. So that's why sometimes I get up before other people, before the big yes. Like, well, in my local area, you know what I mean? Like, I know there's people already doing things, and people, right? I guess in Australia, getting ready for bed or whatever, right? But the quiet time is why I have just built in the habit before work, school, or wherever I'm going for the day. Yep. I mean, there's at least 15 minutes to half hour where I'm just settling in with holy wisdom and praying and maybe, right. So, because I'm not currently married, based on my faith, which I'm going to say right out loud, since everybody else loves shoving all theirs in my face all the time, you can't do that. That's the other thing. Government employees can't even follow their own rules. Right. Yeah, I do kind of want to. Still do. Yes. DHS, no fear. Not kidding. Because it would be wrong for me, right, to not do it. And it may actually help my country a great deal, even though it seems like, right. And there are things that maybe people didn't know that maybe they should have known. You understand? Right. So, yes, I still want to whistle blow. Okay. But, yeah, I'm not going to be pushing and shoving too hard. But I'm still headed that way. Okay. But it's not like some conspiracy theory or any other, yes, like they're hiding, a whole freaking, colony of aliens in the lower cabins that people barely explore. You see what I'm saying? Right. So I'm not one of those people that gets too, you know, excited about certain things until there's like verification and other kind of things. So, uh, but I am doing, yes, some reviews. This right here, Dollar Tree. Okay, why I like it? It has flowers on it. I just picked the one with the flowers on it. But see, this right here, very weak. However, this also $1.25 tree. Okay. Now, I've bought duct tape from the $1.25 tree before, and the silver duct tape, what used to be there, is not worth it to me because it didn't really work as well. But this is actual duck, DUCK tape. Okay, it's a brand. Okay, but it's actually duct, DUCT tape because right, the people use it professionally use it on ducks. DUCT, yes, air ducts and all that kind of stuff. But this is a brand, DUCK, that happens to make duct tape as well. And so for $1.25, this is worth it. Perfect. Yes, this kind because it works. But if you don't care, right, that you have tape on something, and most people who are not as financially endowed as some others probably don't. But if you're going to buy a brush like this from the Dollar Tree, $1.25 tree, yeah, buy some duct tape, okay? Because it's this part, if you get knots or something or whatever, can break very easily. But for the money, though, okay? So basically, you're buying a brush, 125, and then make sure it says actually the brand name duct tape. It's upside down. Duct tape. Okay. That you buy from the $1.25 tree. Useful for a lot of things. I bought blue for a very specific reason. For marking things and yeah, and also cover the floor. But no kidding, everybody. $2.50 plus tax. And I guarantee you that I put very carefully but very precisely, as tightly as I can. Yep, some extra just a little extra support. And so your $2.50 brush, okay, plus tax, this will last me many, many years. Many. Okay, many. So I decided I have another one, but I decided that I would get one that has like a different shape to help brush my kind of hair because it's so long. But for 250, and plus, you get a lot of mileage. So yes, real duct tape, DUCK. Okay, it needs to be the brand name. All right. Yes, but they do sell this at the $1.25 tree. And there's some people like that's like the closest place to walk, or it's the only place the bus drops them off. So, you know what I'm saying? Right. So have 250 plus tax ready. So you have some tape. Okay. Now, because I know, okay, that it needs to be fortified a little. Right. So now, if I have some knots or whatever, yeah, these brushes will last a lot longer if you know ahead of time. Right. Put a few layers, and it helps keep this part from breaking if you hit a knot, or yes, you have like right, then any kind of knot will basically kill the brush. But you don't have to worry about that. Well, most of this planet's on a budget. They should be, rich or poor. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. And especially if you're adults and you don't have that. They made fun of me at school because I got tape on my brush. Kids make fun of a lot of stuff at school. And yes, a lot of us just learn, oh, well, yes. Like, I probably won't be seeing much of you in, colleges or whatever. Thumbs up. Good job. Yeah, you know what I mean? Right. But we got to remind teenagers and young kids of that, even if you don't have any. Like, that's a community thing. Right. So, all the adults, if you're around kids, teenagers, like, just make sure they know, like, oh, yeah, but I got past high school with some friends, little help with some friends. Yep. And, you know, occasionally I talk to some people, but some adults, we don't care. We don't care about vanity. We don't care if stuff matches. 250. And now I have two brushes of two different kinds that, right, this brush is better for my long hair at certain, and it's also a little gentler than my other, but okay, you can't expect anything better for $1.25 plus tax. Right. Get it? So adults, people who just don't care if they get tape on their brush, yep, go out of your way to also purchase some duct tape, DUCK, and put it on there. Or if you have some, but if you don't, put it on there. Different colors, right? You can color coordinate even. You like that kind of thing. But this now will last me years for $2.50 plus tax. So, you know, this is another reason why, yes, I do have some knots, and it's okay because I keep my hair up and it will start curling because I put my hair up when it's wet. So it'll start curling. But, you know, these kind of brushes are not as hard on hair sometimes. 250 plus tax. This will last me several years, if not more. I've had my other brush that I got. Right. Well, that one I did buy from Walmart. Okay, and it has a stronger butt. I'm also gonna hit that one up. And that one I bought 12 years ago for less than $5. Mm-hmm. So, how very wealthy people handle their money, I don't know. And I'm not getting into their business or anything, but a lot of people, if you can stretch a dollar or $1.25, right? And like I will clean it. I have to because of, yeah, I mean, one couple brushes, yes, constantly, which is normal. Yes, that much hair for me is normal. I lose a lot of hair, but I have a lot of it. It's very fine, fine hair. It's not thin. It's just fine, and so this is a little bit gentler. So I decided that since I had an extra $5, that I would go ahead and get me a new brush. I already had the duct tape. That's easier for me and nicer on my hair. But think about it, people. 250 plus tax. I don't have to worry about hairbrushes for years. Okay, so there are little tiny things that even if you have money stored up, and even if you have some savings, there's some things on a daily, day-to-day basis that, especially for adults, where it's like, I don't care if there's tape on my brush. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Who cares, right? So it's more adults that get to that point where it's like, I don't care, man. 250 plus tax. This will probably last me for as long as the rest of my life. Okay, that's less stress I know I have, and now I know I have two brushes, and if I need to travel or I get a chance to go to the Y or any other kind of thing, then I have, right, two brushes that I like, that I know are, decent for my hair, and that, right. So even if you're making money, and even if you're saving money, and you know what I'm saying, like, try and find ways here and there to stretch some stuff out. So, somebody might buy this, okay, and then start using it, and then within less than a month, it's already all right. I doubt that for the amount of money. Oh God. It figures that when I have my hair down, yeah, the time I have my hair down, ugh, yeah, I'm feeling really sick to my stomach. So I'm gonna put my hair back up. I had planned on just brushing, but that's what I'm saying, everybody. Just little tiny things, you know what I mean? Um, all right. I think I'm gonna go hit the bathroom real quick just in case, because I think I'm gonna puke. Well, yuck. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to see if I put a little tiny bit of food in me. Yeah. Not in trouble, but I felt nauseous, obviously. But yeah, I got my little buddy. Yes, with 3 layers of plastic shopping bags, just in case there's a hole in one. Exactly. I mean, if I'm gonna barf, I'm gonna try and make it easy to clean up. So I'm just eating like little bites, a little bit. So pardon me, I'm eating, because sometimes it is. Yes, it might just be adding a little more in my stomach. So I don't try and rush when I eat food. Um, but even nauseous or whatever, I can usually get this little tiny little. But some people may need to get in the habit of doing that. Yeah, because lots of things can make people nauseous, but medications for one thing, right? That makes people nauseous. But other times, yeah, like morning sickness for females. But always do your very best, even if you feel blah, pukey. Okay, because you may puke it back up, but that might help you understand, and that might help a doctor or somebody be able to understand the situation a little more if you tried to get a little tiny bit down. Like crackers are always good for that kind of thing. But this is like not. My neighbor donated a, my, a few microwave healthier meals because she gets some, but like um sometimes she can't eat them all either. So yes, I prefer that somebody eats them rather than it goes in the garbage because it's food that's ready now kind of thing. But I can tell people get nauseous, like try, please try a little tiny bit. Crackers, anything, you know what I mean? Nibble on cheese, whatever, anything, pretzels, right? But just even when you feel sick, which may seem a little off kilter or counterintuitive, however, I have found that it makes a huge difference. For whatever reason, when I get pukey, there's one medication that could do that. Okay, I don't always know why, but I do know that anytime I do, yep, try to get like little tiny bites of something. Could be anything, cereal, but I appreciate the fact that she tries to, you know, ask me and other people, but she'll ask me first because it's right next to her. If I want the remainder of what she gets, because she also has appetite situation, it's very, very helpful to me, actually. Um, I do realize, these aren't necessarily put together for people with like potassium like people quite like me. But on the other hand, like even if I only eat like half or a tiny little bit, like I'm not gonna eat the full amount. So I know that because yeah, it's like loaded full of cholesterol. Okay, but if I'm only eating tiny little bites over yes a longer period of time, I'm not gonna get all the cholesterol. I'm not that's all not all gonna go in me. So, but at least I didn't let it fall in the trash. And it is meant to be made like a balanced meal, which is good. But I feel much better. So I know that it seems counterintuitive. Sometimes get the pukies or feeling sick to your stomach. But as weird as it may seem, that would be a cue. Like try and eat a cracker or something small that you have. Nibble on cereal. You can even do dry cereal. Okay. Just a little tiny bit because it could be medications and sometimes medications need, extra food in the belly. But it could be, well, I mean, if it's morning sickness, you might not, but still, that's puking. So try and eat little tiny bites. And I know I'm not talking to adults like children. It's just that you understand adults are the ones who need to lead by example for children. If you want them to be doing slightly healthier things, then they yes need to be seen doing slightly healthier things. So even though this was like a small little potato chunk, okay, it's not gonna kill my carb load if I eat a few. Um, but it helps in the belly, and so this time it's probably because of my medications, and I must not have gotten enough in for breakfast quite. So you gotta try, because sometimes it can make feel better. But well, if you got alcohol poisoning, call 911 right the hell now because you're not gonna keep anything down. Try not to do that, by the way. But I have found it to be very, very helpful when, yes, that has not happened to me in a long time either. Right, that kind of nausea. So, um, I mean, no matter what, try and get some kind of little something. Chew it real slow, and then just let it get in. Um, if you throw that back up, okay, all right, right, it can help with diagnoses too. Okay, if you need to go to the doctor, like, I ate a little bit and I felt better, or I ate a little bit and I just puked it all out. Get it? If you're doing that like more than twice and you're not shoving a lot of stuff down, then maybe you do want to see the doctor, or at least call to say, should I come in? What should I do? But just a little bit at a time. And I can tell because I'm eating that it's likely a medication situation. Which is another reason that I was trying to stay away from muscle relaxers, although unfortunately I have discovered that, yeah, well, they're kind of necessary, but mine was changed more recently to a different kind, and it seems to work much better. But I don't have like foggy head, if you know what I mean. Right. I don't like foggy head. Yeah, I don't like. It happens. Yes, post traumatic stress, fibro fog, um, menopause. So I'm not expecting my brain to be all A plus. And that should make sense to doctors and physicians and psychologists, right? Right now. So now that I've gotten a little bit more in, I can tell right away. It was because, yep, meds. Sometimes even when I do eat, it might not be enough, and so I'm trying to learn like how much I need to take with me if I'm gonna, go out walking or riding a bus or some other way enough that keeps me, you know, not only sugar stable but carb stable, but yes, also, you know, able to not have my head in the toilet. But that's what I'm saying. If it just, yes, I had my hair down. I didn't get any in it, but still, yeah, that's no fun. Puke in the hair. These things are, they don't damage the hair as much. See these, but this kind, like, I don't know, $5 or less. But let's see, there's 8. These will probably last me like 10 years or more. See what I'm saying? So there's some things that if you buy quality, you buy quality, but you got to take care of them and expect they're going to last longer. But you do actually have to take care of them. Right. Okay. So I understand when it comes to, budgets and, oh my God, do I have enough and stress and all this other kind of shit. I get it. But I've learned how to manage some things, so that, you know, stress free. I don't have to worry about buying a brush for my hair ever again, unless, it gets like stolen or lost or something. Yeah. Um, so these are smaller than I usually get, but I know they're going to get a little, worn and stretched out. So the goodies are generally good. When they're this small, sometimes I use two, but these can be hand washed. These can also be put in regular wash and dry. Um, uh, so, gentle, but I'll put them in with, regular permanent press. And yeah, after a while, like into the laundry, and then yes, then it comes out all refreshed. But less than $5, these will last me probably the rest of my life. Okay, so you know, I don't necessarily need like the trendiest and right. Yeah, I don't. I'm not ashamed. Damn right. Damn right. No shame. I can't help it, rich people. Look, man. 250 plus tax. I don't really care. I'm not trying to keep up appearances for anybody. Exactly. No stress about brushes for the rest of my life. Amen. Yeah. So those who do just know you get one at the $1.25 tree. Yeah. Fortify the connecting joint piece. And that's all you got to do. And that thing will last quite a while. Okay, but for $1.25, it makes sense, right? Yes, that would be the weakest spot. And yes, may not. I mean, I can't complain $1.25, right? But you can make it last, like maybe for as long as the rest of your life if you just put the tape on there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if you got a lot of kids. Yep. I have a bunch of duct tape around just because. Right. You'll find a use for it somewhere. It'll happen. But there is a difference. So Dollar Tree, when you're looking, if you get the generic brand, and I don't even think it's marked, it's not worth $1.25. Okay, it barely sticks. It doesn't right. But yep, the duct tape though, now that's a freaking bargain. Right. Real duct tape works like duct tape, sticks like duct tape. It is duct tape, and it's this is last a while. Okay, and it doesn't go bad most of the time unless you leave it out in the rain or out in the elements that it might. But those who need duct tape and you're at the Dollar Tree or that's the only place you can go, or you don't want to go like looking all over town, this is genuine. If I were a professional, I would use it. You see what I'm saying? Right. So for $1.25, that's a good deal. Um, but knowing that ahead of time might help some people, right? Or if you're out moving on your own or you whatever. And yeah, you only care if you live in a bachelorette pad or a bachelor pad or something. Who cares if there's tape on the freaking exactly? But now I don't want to take my hair down because like fingers, all my hair's around. I feel pukey. Ugh, that has not happened to me in quite a while. So right, but definitely meds because food helped, and I must not have gotten enough in when I took my meds. But I am serious. That all U.S. citizens really should get hooked up with a family practitioner or a general practitioner or a primary care physician. Yep. And, you know, save money for the dentist. Try. Because, exactly, one abscess tooth, you don't get it can kill you. Dead, for real. I'm not kidding. It's not like an alarmist. Yes, it can. Yeah. So, anyway, um, I have looked through some footage, and so when I was looking through my own videos, what I decided to do was if I saw something or there was like a particular state of mind or there was something that I remembered from looking at it, I will write it in the comment section. So I'm making notes, yes, out loud. Okay. So that if somebody had to follow behind me or somebody needed to understand, right, you could like follow my thought process. Okay. Right. And also some things I remember and just some notes because, yeah. But, so I did look at some of it, and that's pretty much where I'm at there. Say, well, okay, well, if I mean, I can make notes on a piece, but I might as well use the comment section in my own right, so that other people can see it and other people can understand. Like, okay, here's what I saw. Here's what I was looking for. Right, here's like my what I was thinking or what was going on or whatever. Right, I can think of. Right, notes. My notes will go in my own comment sections. Right. So I have to review all of that, and so I won't be spending as much time online, but I will try to do some kind of daily something or other. They're likely going to get shorter and shorter, because they're basically just updates. But um, so far, all I can say is the picture that was hanging where the clock was hanging has not been touched, and the clock has not been touched. So that's as far as I know. Yeah, no activity there. Uh, Still waiting on a ladder. Check the lights. Um, that kind of thing. It's Sunday, so Sunday I try to do almost nothing. But I did have some incidents last night having to do with me and my physical space. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is like, all right, likely a certain equipment that you know often gets used in paranormal investigative circles and other would likely be able would have been able to pick up something, right? So that's what I'm saying is, yeah, but I didn't want to hit record because it's like I said, I'm a little bit, yeah, I'm a bit of a stickler when it comes to that too. I don't want to accidentally forget the camera's on, pick up my phone and have a conversation forgetting that this camera's on. You see what I'm saying? Right. And I might divulge somebody's personal information by mistake. So I'm a little leery about having the live on myself, right? But last night there was definitely activity happening around me, through me, in me. Yep, right. So that's what I can just say right there. Um, but these videos will probably get shorter, and I'm explaining, and I'm trying to leave it on the chat because I leave the chat replay. Yes, part of the review. And if anybody's looking for dates, I didn't bother to remove any of that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like anybody looking for dates, there's plenty of information. So, scientifically speaking, what's going to happen is, right, my notes, my scientific, any kind of notes, personal, after a review, I might need them for myself, but they might be helpful for someone else. So, right. Just everybody understand that I will start reviewing all the videos. I mean, I've done some of that, but along the way, I just realized like, okay, well, but then I'm gonna need notes for more than one thing, so I'll just put them all out in the public, so anybody could pick up where I left off, or anybody could understand, right? So, right. But some of it's just personally for me. Yeah, some of the because I plan on making some funny commercials and doing a few things other than, yes, I have no plan to make a documentary at all for any reason, but it seems I have no choice. But yeah, I'm not cutting any of it. You understand? Like all the YouTube footage, I'm not doing anything to. Well, that's why I kind of stopped the other night, and I was like, okay, maybe I just won't put any like I'll just leave it exactly as it is. Right. So anybody wants to check to make sure I did any editing, I'm not. They won't be found. So, but just so people who know, I'm not planning on doing anything. If I need to, yes, if I need to use, something that I just, yep, I can download, copy, make my, right. So on YouTube, totally 100%, I'm not editing anything. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. Mm. So no, I was not. That can be checked. I don't have a problem. Someone check, but don't do it with me personally because Yeah, trust me. It was an emergency. Right. It still somewhat is, but I'm doing everything I can. Use proper coping mechanisms. That's another thing that occasionally I will mention, some coping mechanisms for people. Well, for me, one of them is, yes, obviously cleaning, but I love to have a clean house. Right. I'm not saying it doesn't get mud tracked in. I'm not saying it doesn't get lived in. See what I'm saying? Right. I'm not saying it's one of those houses that, like, you're afraid to sit on the furniture. You know what I mean? Right. Not like that. But definitely a coping mechanism. But this review for me, gratefully, gratefully, I had, I have enough video footage of me along the and some, yep, that it does kind of indicate a few things, but I'm not making a big display about it right now. I'm just simply saying that I have some things to compare it to that yes. So, uh, I'm just grateful anybody that prays or, sends, yes, like, yep. Uh, for Elton, Maryland. Hi, Elton. I see some people around. They'll get to this. It'll be, yeah, that's all right. Um, so I'm 100% sure that where I am on my meds is like the best for the time. I don't want to be messing around with them anymore. Get it? Yeah. Um, so that's kind of set pretty well. All right. Um, that's good news. But it's not my medications that are causing me like any kind of hallucinations or any other kind of bullshit. And the only time I would get any kind of serious psychosis would be if I just couldn't lay sleep for 3 or 4 days. And yes, any normal human being would actually. True story. Right. So, yes, I don't have psychotic episodes, but yes, if I cannot manage to get some sleep, and pills are not the fucking answer. Do you understand? I already work with doctors. Okay. I've already reduced the amount of pills I take. It's already known I don't need any kind of right benzo for anything. I don't need an antipsychotic for anything. I don't need to forget my dreams. I'm not running away from my life. Stone cold sober. And I'm particularly sane when it comes to certain things, actually. But, I try and leave some just good tips, just in general, especially since, yes, I've gotten well practiced at stretching a dollar. Yeah, it's gotten harder, admittedly, but some people have to understand there's some things maybe you don't need brand new, maybe you know. And some people, want to give advice like, well, you go to these stores, you shop for them, like, well, some of them can't get there. Okay, you got to be realistic. Yes, bus stops in Cecil County, yes, usually Walmarts and Dollar Trees. There's at least 2, 3 stops for Cecil Transit. Okay, so the people who ride the Cecil Transit, mm, they may have only those options for shopping. Okay, so or for walking or whatever. Yes, there are ways to look at these things though in more cost effective and over time. And so me, I got a new brush after 12 years, 10 years. Okay, but I know that this brush This kind of brush is going to be a little easier on my hair the way it is when it's long. Okay. So just, I put 3 layers, but there's no give, there's no bend. See what I'm saying? This thing's going to be able to take a bit more of a beating. Okay. So sometimes there's it's really inexpensive stuff that does work great. I mean, you may not need to spend lots of money on stuff. And, when you're used to having certain kind of money and you don't ever really think about it, you just pay your credit card bills on time. You know what I mean? Well, that can come to a crashing halt too sometimes. And it may not be due to your doing, but anybody who is finding themselves in the U.S. and more financial straits trying to figure out certain things is little things like this. Make a huge difference. So, for those who are really struggling, but you want decent, well, you can get decent from $1.25 tree, but you got to pay $2.50 plus tax. You see what I mean? Right. So, you know, I understand travel restrictions for people. Sometimes the only place they have is a Dollar General. I mean, that's the only place they can get. Sometimes, right, Dollar Tree is the only place they can get. Okay. Yep. But if you do, even if you buy something from the $1.25 tree, try to respect it and try to clean it and try to keep it. Every so often, do some, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, and then I don't have any stress about my hair products anymore. Zero. Get it? Right. So that's very helpful. Right. Um, so that's the plan. I am concerned about certain individual, admittedly, but I pray all the time, and I'm sure it's going to work out. For anybody else, though, uh, if you used to taking, like far away foreign vacations, going to exotic places, and well, not only like COVID and other things, there, yeah, borders everywhere. The war is stupid war, holding all kinds of crap up too. So, you know, but if you're used to that, check out campgrounds because some campgrounds and some RV and other, right, they have like we call them like little cabins. Some of them are rustic, some of them are all year round. Like right near me, yeah, within a 5 mile, 5 6 mile radius, several places that are open all year round. Maybe not every part of the park, but yep, and you can get like a cabin. You can get a little more rustic, but you can get a little more, but it's a lot less expensive than yes some other vacations and sometimes. Right. So those people have been watching their money just freaking funnel out of their bank accounts. You understand? Yes, trust me. Or you recently like hit some skids because perfectly wonderful vacations for a lot cheaper. Right. For adults, for kids. See what I mean? Right. RV parks, not right. So around me, yes, I'll just say within 10 mile radius, tons of that. Right. Little cabins, little yurts, little right. And some of them are open even during the winter, for holiday vacations. Just, they tend to be less expensive than right like hotels, motels, and other kind of things, which I appreciate. You know. Um, the what's it called? State Park, Elk Neck State Park is very close to me, and they have some right. They have some campsites and some things that are open all year round too. Right. So even if it's winter time, usually right, they have like little fireplaces or they have like a heater or something. You understand? Right. So those of you who may have been used to, maybe having more freedom with your money or, your yearly vacations somewhere in another country or right, you could afford it. But now, right, that might not be the case. It's like it's one thing I say about Maryland is like almost everywhere you go in Maryland, somewhere there's some kind of RV park or some kind of right states or something. The federal side of that Asti Island National Seashore is open all year round. There's usually some kind, and if you don't have a camping tent, you don't like to camp, that's okay. You don't have to, because a lot of them have like little kitchens, kitchenettes, right? You know, might be a little more rustic than they're used to, but some of them have full kitchens with full and can, sleep like 6 to 10 people. So if you're kind of afraid of nature or you don't know the ookie cookies out in the woods or you don't really want to deal with a tent, you don't have to. You can also rent RVs. So I have found a great deal of joy just going to places just around where I can drive and there are tons of them. If you look up KOA, um, there's a lot of camping. It'll right. The Maryland Department of Natural Resources. Yep. Some are closed all winter, but some are not. And so don't be afraid, like you say, camping or going to. If you don't want to live in an RV or you don't really want to be putting up a tent and messing with, cabins, and they're good vacations. You get quiet time, right? But it's also in the winter far less people, so it's even more quiet and peaceful if you go camping in the winter, or you can get a cabin. Some have different varieties. Some it's just rustic, but some is like yes, okay, those kind of things much less expensive. Plus, you bring the food. You understand? So you know what you're eating. You don't have to like eat out if you don't want to. You can have your kind of food, which is something that I appreciate, right? Because I can have, food that I pack that I know and that I know I can eat, and that doesn't cause me too many issues. And I'm not expecting to go out to eat. I might, yeah, once. Yes, I've done that. You're out, you go out to eat. That's fine, but you also have control of yes the types of food and the things that you have available. So I'm an advocate of like trying to have a vacation that costs less, but it's still a vacation. So you might have to do more preparing, but it's a lot less than some hotels, and you don't get the scenery. See what I mean? Right. Um, it's just something that I've noticed over time. Um, I trust me every so often. If somebody's gonna put me in a 5 star, I'm not gonna freaking argue with anybody about it. You know what I mean? But right, if you just don't like the outdoors, or you're afraid of little creatures, or you're not sure about being in the woods or wherever, It's okay. Right? It's less scary for some people not to be in a tent. Yep, there are a lot of places that will have little like family style or even honeymooners. You know what I'm saying? Right? Exactly. Very quiet. So I have learned over the years to try to visit certain places in the off season because it's much more quiet and private in the off season. And a lot of times the prices are lower. And see, my thing is quiet, private. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, off seasons, yep, are usually more what I'm aiming at. Um, so just know that, small family vacation or vacation just for yourself or you and your lover or whoever. Right. There are options that are much less expensive. And the views are usually rather spectacular, even if they're not like sweeping views from, yes, some foreign country. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying foreign countries are bad. I'm just saying that, first of all, travel is still limited here and there. And, yep, I know a lot of people have been taking hits from COVID. There's no way. There's no way anybody going to tell me that you don't feel insecure sometimes, yet due to COVID and the amount of money that you had to, right, people. I know, I'm telling the truth here. There are people suddenly coming to the realization, like, shit, there goes my 401k. Okay, so even if you're kind of afraid of the outdoors or you're not really one for camping, that's okay. Yeah, you can princess up in the cabin. You don't need to, or yes, or I'm saying diva up, man style, I don't care. Right. So there's even those options for people who aren't really too sure. You know what I mean? Because you're living inside, and a lot of them. I mean, if I'm doing it myself, I usually just use a rustic cabin because I don't really care. You know what I mean? Right. But if I go with someone else or friends or whatever, then I'm usually looking at something that's got a little more modern convenience. Just because, right, especially in the off season, right. But the off seasons usually you pay less, and there's it's much quieter and private. So I know in the state of Maryland, in some places, and Pennsylvania, Jellystone. Yeah, they're not that far away from me. Yep, there are different kinds of cabins, different kind of packages. Most have internet, some way or another. Right. So it's a consideration if you really are just trying to stay budget and you're not really sure you want to be putting, a $15,000, you know, journey to another country on your credit card. Um, Try parks, state, federal campgrounds. You can still get out of the house, but I mean, you could literally live like 25 minutes away, and it's still a vacation, right? Um, so it's just something that I've over the years been very appreciative of. If I can't really get anywhere or wherever, yep, it's still a vacation, even though I'm like 40 minutes from my house or an hour, right? You know what I mean? Right. Plus, if you have special diets that you need to consider, this way you're packing it for yourself in a cooler or something, so you know that you have it, right? And meds and other kind of things. So I just suggest that to people, even if you think the outdoors is okay. Yes, because they do have some nicer cabins. You just stay in the cabin, you sit on the porch, or you go play. Some places have pools, or you go fish, or you take pictures, or you just sit there staring at the fire, which is something I like to do. Total decompression, right? But I do suggest that for people just you know struggling, maybe don't aim at particular place outside the U.S. that might have nice beaches or might have right. You see what I'm saying? Like, and plus, if you're around the outdoors more, you can distance space a little more. And right, I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah, I've always been appreciative of the fact that I can you know get away either with myself or other people, right? For far less than you know me paying to go certain places. Certain places on earth I've been and I really love them. So, of course, in my heart, a couple places I'd like to go back to, and Costa Rica is one of them. But, you know, don't keep using the credit cards, everybody. Okay? Try to rely on them less. All right? But this is one way to do that. Some of these cabins are it might be like 200, but if it's like four people and it's got a full kitchen and it's got air conditioning and, yes, like a fireplace, and some of them are pretty luxurious for very little money if you're looking at the difference between, like, yes, hotels and hotels. So, I mean, I've done this and been this, and that's something that maybe people should try, but don't be put off by the fact that you have to be like camping or woods or outdoor stuff, because a lot of places have other things that aren't, and a lot of places have nicer cabins for a whole lot less a week than you would for a 4-star hotel with the same amenities. Okay. uh, I understand what it's like. So mini vacations, like, you have to give yourself a break. You have to not worry about, well, I don't have enough money, blah, 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 when I go to Cancun or when I go to wherever. Yeah, there are some cabins that are much nicer, much cleaner, and there aren't bugs, and you're not gonna have raccoons or any of. You see what I'm saying? Right? And you can sit there and stare at the trees if you want, but you don't have to really spend a lot of time. So I know a lot of people that's like, okay, I don't want to do that, get dirty, all this, the camping, but that's not necessarily the whole story. But for people who really want to try and get out and try and get different scenery and just where it's quiet, yeah, I suggest those things. So, yeah, 111. I'm not really timing myself here, but I am sure that slowly but surely these are gonna be like, yeah, closer to 10, 20-minute updates, because most of the rest I'm probably going to write comments. I gotta go through all my videos anyway more thoroughly, but again, I could use some help. Clearly, I appreciate all prayers. Prayers, yes, for me, should be just included in all prayers for Elkton, Maryland. Right? May God, yes, maneuver quickly. Thank you. Uh, and like I said, nothing particularly paranormal other than, I guess, when, like, yeah, right before I go to bed and during my sleep, and sometimes, yes, there's activity, but fuck if I'm gonna try and get it. People aren't interested scientifically or anomalously, or look a gift horse in the mouth. That's fine. But I'm definitely not going to be going anywhere unless I know there's an archangel hovering around somewhere. So, everybody, once a day. Okay. Take care.